Got the fucking filter drain. So these are the first two spark plugs out of the car. They're somewhat damp, but not too bad. They smell a little bit like petrol, so I think it's, I don't know, we'll buff them up, a few of them. So I got them all cleaned up, buffed up, rubbed up with the cloth. So I also realized the second lead wasn't actually put on properly, and it's also different. I'm not sure if it even goes on properly, so we'll find out now. I'll put these first two back in. So yeah, I'll just do the first two and see how they look. They weren't actually that bad, so I don't really need to do the rest. Like if you take the first two out and they're like fucked, then I'll take out the rest. But in this case, this scenario, they weren't too bad, just a bit dirty. By the looks of it, these plugs are actually like brand new. I've only wiped this with cloth. I haven't even buffed it yet. And it's like clean. It's like brand new. Barely used. By the way, this car, like this is a young guy's like one of his first cars or something. So he's like bought it, manual converted it, hasn't driven it anywhere, just in his backyard doing it up. So it's probably actually a lot of new parts. We got the new rocker cover gasket, so see how we go. Won't bother with the fourth one, but I'll clean the fifth and sixth. So the third and the sixth lead won't click on, but I found this other dizzy, so we're gonna pilfer the leads off this. Alright, so I've checked the six first. Like before I bother putting it on the dizzy, you don't want to put some shit lead that's not going to click on. So that clicked on straight away, like 1 second. So we'll try the third one now. So we'll get the third one in. I swear every time I try and film something, it just becomes the hardest task. Alright, ready to see if it clicks. That was the click. So seconds clicked on, first is clicked on, second. I can't really get the fourth and fifth, and I'm not going to bother with them, but I can't really pull the lead off, so that should be clicked on. So we have the new 3 and 6 on there, the grey ones, with that heat wrap or whatever. Got these rubbish ones. These are even fucked, and the part that goes in the dizzy, they're broken as well. So there's actually this guide. Under there, your leads will be on your heat shield of your exhaust manifold. So I had to take off that hose on the rocker cover so that I could put the leads behind it to get them in the guide. So it's time to test it with the new leads on it. We got the fuel drained out of the filter. So we're going to prime it again now. Might take a little to try and turn over because we just drained it, but see what happens. Alright, let's go. Hey, it's running better. I swear it's running better. Fucking hell, man, this thing is rough. Okay. Not too sure what's going on at the moment. Could be the coil in it. Oh no. So I have a new spare, well, it's not new, it's a spare coil. Just gonna chuck that on, see if it makes a difference. We're gonna try it with the fucking new coil. It's not really gonna do much, but we'll try it anyway. do fuck all. So I have more reason to believe that it's voltage related to still fuel issues, something along them lines is my guess. I can compression test it, but I can't really be fucked. That's like my last resort is to compression test it. I don't really want to do that if I'm pulling the motor apart. I'm convinced it still has no fuel, is what I reckon. Because I've just pulled off the return line and there was no pressure in it. And I pulled off before and it was dirty as. But then I drained it and now nothing's filling up. So I reckon it doesn't have enough fuel. And I went to the fuel station, but the petrol price is $2 a litre. And I spent $15. But that's only 7 litres. I didn't put it all in either. So this is on the silver 31, the timing is set there. This one you can see the circle has been above, but it looks like it's moved. Oh, fuck off. The timing is... Really? So we'll put it back to where the mark is and tighten it up. Now I lost the key. But we've adjusted the timing. Just have to find the key now. Alright, so just straight up move the dizzy. See what happens now. Priming. It's running better. This is fucked up. I want to go put some battery voltage on it and then get the timing light on the fucking timing. Alright, so it turns out this cunt actually was filled with gearbox oil. I was thinking that the other day, like I shouldn't start it, there's no tail shaft. We're gonna get gearbox oil everywhere if it was in there, and I was like, well, the gearbox oil would already be on the ground, but it's only just now on the ground when we got to lay under there and take the gearbox actually out. So once again, there's a puddle of gearbox oil under the car before the gearbox is even out of the vehicle that we have to lay in. So we have to pay a side test on. Let's see how fucked it is. Oh my god, that toolbox is really fucking annoying me being right there. Alright, see what happens. Got gearbox oil on the ground. Alright, let's see what happens. That's pretty low for an NA. Cylinder 2, the same. So the first two the same, we'll test cylinder 3. Cylinder 3 is the same. I'll check all the rest, see if we got any differences. Alright, so we'll start with the basics. We'll have BCPR6ESs, or normally E's. And they have ones, I can't remember what the other thing is, but they got the little V groove in there. It's ES something, or maybe I think it's BCPR6Es. Without the S, have the little groove. I don't know. Those are the better ones with the groove. But a good place to start is check all the spark plugs. So we've got this like somewhat intimate misfire. So all the spark plugs are good. Now you got to check they're the right ones for the car, because I've actually had a car that didn't run at all properly, and the guys bought all new spark plugs and he's fitted them, and no one could work out what was wrong with the car. And then I've come and sussed it. It was the fuel pressure reg, but in the meantime of the fuel pressure reg getting changed, someone changed all the spark plugs with the wrong ones, and then we fixed the fuel pressure reg, which is the problem, but then now all of a sudden the car wouldn't start because it had all the wrong spark plugs in it. So I know these are the right plugs because they're like the normal ones for RB, but so now I noticed the leads, the number 4 and 5 lead they come off really easy, so we might try change them while we're at it, trying to just get down the bottom of this misfire. we have 140 psi across all 6 cylinders, so there's no compression issues. It's somewhat low, but it's like, it's in the middle. It's 150,000 Ks. It's what you expect. So they go down to 120 and shit. So not that bad of compression. Spark plugs are alright. The leads is like the next thing that's going to get changed, so hopefully it fixes it. Otherwise the dizzy's coming off the cap. Have a look at the rotor. So I'm going to replace these leads. The second lead anyway, it's different. Make sure they all click on. So this is the inside of the dizzy. It's not too bad. Alright, so a little while back, I purchased, fuck, it's heavy, it's gonna snap me fucking wrist. I bought this fucking tail shaft like a year or 2 years ago, R32 GTST tail shaft for the silver R31 back like 2019, 2020. OG sitting Sidewayz. Fucking hell, heavy cunt. So I bought this to convert the silver R31 because I did some research then and everyone was trying to tell me like R32 GTST tail shaft fits on an R31 Skyline. So I did some more research and I realized that what I was reading was actually for a 2-door R31 with a RV20 deck and the gearbox same as R32. So I was not misled, but I just didn't like read enough into it. So then I haven't used it. I bought that blue R31 when we manual swapped the white it used to be black, but the white R31 when we manual swapped it, I bought the whole blue R31 because I couldn't find a tail shaft, and I made a deal with the guy like $2,000 that day, the complete manual blue 31, but it didn't run properly and blah blah blah. So I took the tail shaft out of that, but now it doesn't have one. So, and we can't really turn it on. We can turn it on, but the gearbox is running dry, and I want to get it running again to try and drive it. So maybe try and sell it or something. And then so we're gonna try this R32. Sorry for the long explanation. R32 GTST tail shaft. We're now gonna open and see if it works. Fucking hell, well, at least he's done a good job wrapping it up. There's legit wrapping on wrapping on wrapping. So I'm not actually sure if this is the right tail shaft that he's gave me. And I haven't seen this before, but the tail shaft bolts together in the center. Normally they have like a circlip. Yeah, normally they have a circlip that like holds tail shafts together in the center. This one fucking bolts together, like. So that's a bit like weird, because like the bolts could come loose. Then your tail shaft, like that's just a weak point in the center of the tail shaft bolt. I don't know, but this is like heaps thicker than the fucking R31 one. I swear it is anyway. So if it does fit, the main thing is the center bearing in the right spot and the length. If it does fit, even if like the front half's right, well, we can't actually change it because they've got bolts, so we can't just join them. Fuck, I hope this is the right shaft. Alright, so hidden under there, this is another RB30 box, same as in there, MF5. So this fits in here, it's the same as in there. Well, that just went in there. So R32 GTST front half definitely fits, but it has bolts. Find out. Now the question is which ends this actually bolt to? I swear they're like the same, or we'll have to measure them or try it. Alright, so this tail shaft only goes together one way. The nuts actually, or the bolts actually get held on the flange, so they can't spin, and you just got the nuts with a spring washer. So to be honest, that actually is quite like alright. But it's being held together by bolts, no dramas, engineered alright. So put this together, see if it works, because I'm fucking very confident that this is quite thicker than a stock 31 shaft. And if it fits, That's a full upgrade we got here, using 32 GTS T-shafts on 31s. Whoever the guy I bought this shaft off as well is a legend, because he's marked it so the balance won't go off, so I can put it back together straight. Full legend shit. Most people wouldn't even think about that when selling a tail shaft. First pull it apart and sell it, yeah. So we have the cunt actually in the air, like probably half a meter off the ground. It's funny how good this jack actually works when we use it on the flat ground carport that's actually built for working on cars. So I can move the jack stands down here through the gate and then walk around there and grab them in an easier position. See? Now I can just come grab them. Craziest shit just happened. I was literally sitting there, I put my head fucking up under here, almost just broke my fucking neck, and that jack stand just literally collapsed right down to the bottom, and now this is like stuck behind the fucking bumper. What the hell? That is the most dodgy thing I've ever just fucking seen. It literally collapsed before my eyes as I let the jack down. I think I may have just found the problem. But someone's jacked the car up from the fucking sump. Either that or it slipped off and landed on the sump. But someone has jacked the car up from the sump. A jack has been on this sump. So by the looks of it, the oil leak has actually come out of the speedo drive. Either the center bearing's different or there's a piece missing, but we'll test the length right now. But it looks like the oil has actually been leaking out of the speedo drive. Not so much up there, but it's all jacked up with a sketchy stand still. Little pea shooter. But yeah, we'll try see what happens. Alright, so the 32 GTS shaft. So it's hard to film this. The 32 GTS shaft is the right fucking length, but the holes don't match up for the diff. So if we take off that uni joint and get the flange off the fucking auto one, we might be able to convert it to suit the fucking diff. Now, oh my god, this is so fucking heavy. Up here, the center bearing is not the same by the looks of it, but this could just be part of a shackle and we're missing the clamp, so we're gonna fucking look it up. I'm gonna put the phone down before I drop a tail shaft on my face. Got the fucking, see the sway bar's a problem on 31s to jack up from the diff, so if you get from the front of the diff, you can actually kind of do the same thing you're trying to do. And like that jack's not even fucking hot, it's about halfway up, probably just over, but we could still fucking get so much more clearance in the front. So by the way, never jack a Skyline from these sills, you will crash him in. You want to always go from the cross members, if applicable. If they're too low, roll them on blocks of wood. Never jack from the sills, you'll fuck them up. They just crush in unless you got a hoist and you can put them under all four at once to spread the load evenly.